Of all the hogs and swine, Wilbur was most definitely the least Tepig. Wouldn't you agree? Bike Chain Starters, Episode 13, Tepig. What's going on? I'm PokeWelder Zach, and today we're making Tepig out of bike chains. Before we get started, when this video hits 1,000 likes, I'll be giving a giveaway to one person from the comment section below. So, what'd you think about the intro joke? Do you have a better one? Or do you just like the Piggly Wiggly Tepig? While you're down there, make sure to like, subscribe, and let's get on to the build. Alrighty, let's get some nonsense with those chains. We're going to set out the chains for the head, which is going to be composed of a 6, 2 8s, another 6, and then some singles for the ears. Next is the body, which is made up of 2 4s and 2 6s. The legs are singles, and the tail is a 3-piece. So, to start out with the head here, we're going to break these parts up and set them into their designated shapes. So we're going to set up the 2 6-link pieces at the top, which will serve as the sides of the head, and then we will add the 8 links for the middle portion of the head. They're not going to be perfectly symmetrical in this case, because I tried to make a sort of pig-like snout on the head. You can see it a little bit more on that right side there. Going to quickly tack them all in place, and then we will start putting them together. Alright, so we got them all tacked. Because I want to make sure these are lined up, instead of tacking the second part of the middle of the head, I actually have this little homemade tool here that I can use to line them up. I line them up and then I tack them together just to make sure that the shape is right for when you're looking at it. Everything's lined up, those links are lined up. Because when you do them separate, especially for the 8 links, it's a little bit easier for them to kind of get mismatched sometimes. So that's just my little trick to do that. I'm going to clean them up so that we can have flush surfaces when we weld them together. And then we want to put that welded side on the inside to hide it, so we have a nice clean finish on the outside there. You can line it up there, and it's starting to take shape of a skull. So now we take those 2 single links, weld them together, which are going to create the ears. They look a little weird right now, but they end up turning out well in the final result. So there we have Tepig's head. We are going to we're going to clean that up, and then we'll move it off to the side. Nice and shiny. So for the body, we're going to use 2 4s and 2 6s. And instead of them being side to side, these are going to run front to back. So we can make these pretty symmetrical in this case, so that we get our chunky little pig there. I'm going to quickly tack each of the individual parts, and then we'll clean them up and put them together, similar to the head there. So here you can see I'm cleaning them up. A lot of those tacks, they are just in between the links to secure them, so I don't really need to do the other side either, because when I put them together, that secures the other side. Alright, time to stack them up. We're going to use the 2 6s for the middle portion of the body, and then we'll add the 2 4s on either end. That was the front end, and let's get that Piggly Wiggly tush now. Clean her up. And now we're going to add the head. Let's talk Patreon real quick. Patreon is where I post updates, announcements, special events, and all sorts of bonus content. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to help support the channel, go ahead and check it out in the description below. I also post a poll for Pokemon of the Month, so if you want to vote on that and get access to exclusive videos, again, go ahead and check out Patreon in the description below. Thank you to all my current patrons, thank you to all my future patrons, and let's get back to the video. Using the magnet to hold it in place, we're going to line up the head onto the body and give it a quick tack on either side. Next, we're going to add on the legs with that opening side towards the body. Another trick, just so I only have to weld the top and not the bottom part. Now we go in and add the other side using the magnets to make sure he's level, so that when I take him off the magnet, he isn't, leaning in some weird way. Now that the legs are on, we're going to add the tail. So this is a 3-link with closed ends. Just kind of giving that little, it adds a little bit onto the end of the body, and then also lines up for his tail. So now we're just going to clean them up using a ceramic flap disc for the main cleanup here on the angle grinder, And then this is just sort of going to be shaping that tail as well in this case. And then following through with the Dremel tool, and this actually has a diamond coated bit just to help clean up all the hard to get spots in between the chain links and all that stuff. And then this is a grinder bit, which is just, again, a little extra cleanup, a little bit easier than using the diamond disc. So that is our final raw Tepig. Now we're going to add some paint, nice orange base coat, and then get into the finer details with a acrylic hand brushing. Luckily, Tepig's paint isn't too hard. He's got a brown top of the head and then a brown rear end. And he's got a few finer details as well on his face and on the end of his tail. But the main portion of it is getting this nice little brown coat, making sure it extends far enough on the front side, and then just getting in between all those little cracks and crevices. Now we're going to add on the back part of Tepig, again, making sure to get in between all of the chain links and just go through and give him a nice rounded brown rear end. Not something most people want, but now we're going to add on the yellow on the front of the face. Just one of those finer little details. And then we'll finish off by adding a pink nose, as most little Piggly Wigglies do have the cute little pink nose here. You gotta make sure the sides, add a pink tail. That's just the ball on the end of the tail. The actual tail itself will be painted black. So if you can kind of see, there are some spots where some orange still pokes out. So this is just the first coat. I do end up going back and adding a second coat as well. Can't forget the brown little footsies on the front. So there we have it. Our little Tepig seen from raw bike chains all the way up to its final painted form. Would love to hear what you have to think. Just drop in those comments below. What do you think about Tepig? What do you think about the design? Would love to hear it. Thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope you enjoyed the video and even learned a thing or two. Again, when the video hits 1,000 likes, I'll be doing a giveaway to one person from the comment section below. So, what do you think of the video? What would you like to see more of? What would you like to see less of? And what Pokemon would you like to see after this series? You can go ahead and check out my Patreon in the link below and vote on future Pokemon and sculptures. So, with all that, thanks for sticking around. Make sure to like, subscribe, and next week we're going to be doing Oshawott, so see you then. Sign off with a Totodile smile.